Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. Today's my video is about a very frequent question asked from my subscribers and viewers, that should they come alone to Canada on a study permit or should they come with their family? I do understand, it's a very big decision when you are married and you have small kids, and then you decide to come to Canada as a student on a study permit. Hats off to you guys. It's really a big decision and not everybody is ready to take. So good. My best wishes are with you guys. It's really a good decision. Okay. So most of you ask from me, did I come alone or I come with my family? So the answer is I came alone here and then my family joined me later. We'll explain you in some other video. But as most of you know that when somebody asks me any question, I prefer to give the answers in pros and cons. That if you do this, this is gonna happen in good, this is gonna happen in bad. So let's answer this in my same strategy. So let's begin. So friends, first of all, when you come to Canada, or when you decide to come to Canada and you decide to come alone as a student on a study permit and your family is in your hometown, so here is a list which you can count in the pros. Number one, if you're married and say you have a one or two kid as well and you decide them to live in back home and you decide to come to Canada, so number one pros will be, because you're already living there, that's your hometown, that's your home country, your family is there to support them, so you definitely get a support from the family. So family support in handling your spouse and kids. Say you have wife and you have two kids and you are already living with your parents, like in a joint family we have in India. So generally joint families support your spouse and your kid to be in back home when you are away. So a family support is there. This is number one, because if your spouse is working, then definitely she's financially independent. She can pay her own expenses, she can pay the tuition fee of the kids back home. So you are not carrying this over here, that you need to pay the fee or you need to pay the rent. So you get a family support back home. This is number one. Say your kids are going to school, and as my son was going to school when I came here, so he was already studying back home, he was already studying there, and I did not need to worry that in which grade he will go. His studies were continue, and that helped me here when I came here. So his school was ongoing, I didn't need to worry about that. Number two is studies of the kids. Okay, so number three, my friends, is when you come to Canada, it's a complete new country, and I must say, like, I am a person, I've been to just for few countries for tourism only. I was not like a frequent traveler who was always visiting Western countries like US or Europe. So for me, Canada was a complete new world. I never been to a Western country earlier, so it was really really a new, I can say, a whole new world for me. The culture over here was new. Of course, I came as a student, so studies were new too. Like back home we have in India, a study pattern is totally different. Secondly, I studied after 10 years. No, yeah, I think 9-10 years. After 9-10 years I studied. So 9-10 years, or I think 8-9, something about that, something nearby that. So after studying, say after 8 years, I studied back home before 8 years, and then I came here as a student in a new country, a Western country. Culture was different, study pattern was different, people were different. Like, it was a lot of adjusting, and honestly speaking, if I would be with my family, with my son and my husband, that adjusting must be difficult. I won't lie to you guys, because I was alone. So if I like incident with you guys, when I came here, I was not having that many funds. So I usually I was taking my coffees and my lunches from home when I came to Canada, like where I was living. So I was very like cautiously spending the money, even $2 or $3 on coffee. So when you're alone, you can think that, should I take this coffee, it costs me $3 or $4. But when you're with your kid, if your kid will ask, mommy, I want a burger, or I want to eat this fries, it's really hard to say no to your kid. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. Like, when I came here, it was a lot of adjusting, so I did. And because I was alone at that time, my family was not there, so it was easy for me to adjust in this environment. And I have noted down all these points. So yes, uh, adjusting in Canada was definitely not easy, so I adjusted. And studies pattern was completely new. Like back home, if you need to do some assignment or some research, you just go Google research. But here it's not like that. You need to give referencing for everything. Whatever you say, you need to put reference in your assignment. So for me, it was totally new. I know that some good schools in India also now they use referencing, but in my time it was not like that. So definitely for me it was taking much time. I need to study a lot, and because I was alone, so I could spend more time in library to understand that. I could spend more time with my classmates to understand how, like, the Canadian students who were there or who studied in some foreign countries. So I was studying with them, and I understanding how this study pattern works. And here some professors also provide extra coaching, not extra coaching, but you can say support. There is a support from the school, from the college, where you can go and ask for the help. So I was spending more time in adjusting that environment. Though my english is not that great, so I was taking some English classes as well, like extra English classes to correct my assignments, because at that time I was not having Grammarly. And there was a support from the college for foreign students who need help in English. So I was taking my assignments to those English centers to get my English corrected, so that I score more in the assignments. So I was spending more time in adjusting this new study pattern, because it was difficult for me. And I understand the people who are married and they decide to come to Canada. So generally they have 5-6 years of study gap, as per my knowledge. Because if you are married, then definitely you are working from 3-4 years, and then you decide to get married, and after that then you decide to come to Canada. So there is a gap in studies. And trust me guys, it will take time to learn the study pattern of Canada, so be prepared for that. Okay. And the next point I have written uh, was, yes, when you come alone, it's easy to find a part-time job. Say if I would bring my kid, at that time he was 5 years old. So um, either I can take care of my kid, or I can do part-time. If you want to study full-time, you want to work part-time, and then you want to take care of your kid, sorry boss, that's not possible if you're not a superhuman. I must tell you that when I was a student, I was just having a sleep of 4-5 hours, that's all. Because I was working full-time, I was working part-time, and I was doing volunteering stuff as well. Plus I was in my MBA games, because you have to be in the extracurriculum activities to make networking. And then you have to go for some networking events as well. Like every college has some networking events, and you need to go once in 15 days or in a month, to make connections in the industry, so that you can get a job. So if you're not alone and you're with your family, then it is really difficult to go, say you finish your school by 5 and then you go to your work from 6 to 10, and then after 10 you are coming to library, and next day in the morning 9 a.m. you have that networking event. So it's really difficult. It's life is already very hodgepodge when you come to Canada as a student and you start working part-time too, and then you have your family. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you have a very supporting spouse, it is possible. But I'm just telling you the pros of being alone in Canada. When you come alone as a student, it's much easier to go to those networking events and do all that volunteering stuff which you need to do to get a full-time job. Because after maybe your course is for 16 months or 1 year or 2 years, after this time you will be ready for the market, you will be ready for the labor market, and you need a full-time job, so you need to prepare for that as well, right? So it's much easier. And the another point, my friends, is when you come alone, you can have a shared accommodation which I was having. I was sharing an apartment with 2 of my friends. This was a 3 room apartment, and 3 of us were sharing that, and the rent was fairly good. It was not that high. We were sharing our groceries as well, and if we were having a project or any assignment, we all were doing together, because we all 3 were the MBA students. So life is much easier, because then you can have a shared accommodation, you can have a shared groceries. If you need to go somewhere, then you can go alone, because when you're alone, who cares, man? Where are you living? You can live on the sofa as well if you got some friends, and you can adjust. So it's economically, it's much cheaper as well. The another point I would say, it's not the it's last but not the least, because when you're married and you have kids and you just file your visa alone, you have to show family ties back home. So when your whole family is back home, I believe this is the biggest proof to show your family ties, right? See, my whole family is there, of course I'm gonna come back. Right? But at that time, as I always mention, that you should file your visa first. So when you will file your visa, you can say your family is there, and this shows your family ties much more stronger in your back home. Okay, so guys, this is a whole list of pros, and I have applied all these pros on me. These are all tested and okay things. Like, I did all this, that's why I'm sharing all this with you. Now, let's talk about the cons. So first of all, definitely I was having a 5 years old kid, and if you are married and you have kids, living without your kids, oh my god, my heart goes out still if I think about those times. Not easy, not easy at all. If you leave your kid and your family back home, it hurts you like anything. You have to be so strong, you have to be so emotionally strong. I can't tell you how I said bye to my kid at airport, how I said bye to my husband, and without knowing that when we are going to be united again. It's a very hard decision, guys. And if you're taking this decision, I would highly recommend you be strong emotionally wise, otherwise you can't survive. It's not easy seeing your kid's face, smiling face, every evening when you come back from home. Oh my god, that's the pleasure of life, right? But you will miss that here, you will, for sure. So the thing to cope up with this, what I did, I got extremely busy. I was going to school, I was going to my work, then I was busy in volunteering. You won't believe, like 8 a.m. my class was starting, till 5 I was in the school, 5:30 to 9:30 was my work. After that, straight I was coming to library, 2 3, I don't remember till what time I was doing my assignments with my friends, go to bed. Sometimes I was just sleeping in the library, because tomorrow morning generally I was having 8:30 or 9ish class. Sleep there, or come back home, sleep, go back to school again. So I did not realize how the time passed. Generally I was not having time. I was not having time to think about those things, to think about my kid is alone, and because you took the decision, right? You decided to come alone. There is no point to creep about that your kid is not there now. Okay, so you have to be strong, and we all can be. So one thing, your family will not be that with you, and that con is above all the cons. If you're not emotionally strong, don't come alone, guys. It's really difficult if you can't cope up with this. Okay, secondly, yes, emotionally you have to be strong. And third thing is, as I mentioned in my points, that homesickness, that's the kind of homesickness when you miss your husband and your kid and your family. Definitely it's there. And of course, when you're alone, you don't, I was not cooking that much. I was just eating here and there, or whatever I was finding, I was eating. So definitely you miss homemade food, because cooking takes time. Now I cook every day and if you follow me on Insta, I put my food recipes over there. So not food recipes, but pictures. Yeah, so you will miss homemade food. That's again a thing. The last point for cons, it's again not the least, because you filed your visa as a student, you are in Canada as a student, but your family doesn't have any visa now. Your family doesn't have any visa till now. They are still waiting to apply their visa. Okay, so it may happen that when your husband or your wife and your kids will apply the visa, they may face a rejection, right? It happens. It happens. My husband's visa got rejected once too, because I told him to attach some papers, but he missed, because I was here in Canada and he did whatever he wanted to, right? So he missed some papers, his visa got rejected. And it happens with most of the people. So then my husband filed the visa, and again I think it took around 3-4 months again. So the whole process, if I'm not wrong, took around 6 to 7 months altogether. But in the second attempt, he got visa, right? So how long you're gonna be apart, God knows. Till the time the visa will not be granted, your family cannot be united. So be prepared in my mind, be prepared in your mind that you don't know when you're gonna be together. It's a gamble, guys. I must say it's a big gamble, because you're alone. Definitely it will help you in getting settled, but with that, your family is alone over there. You have to file the visa. You need to talk to your family every day, and you need to answer the question of your kid, mommy, when you're coming back, or mommy, when I'm coming to Canada. Be prepared for all of that. Overall, you have to be strong. You have to be strong. There is no other way which you can cope up with this. My husband was very supportive. He was never asking me all those questions, but I was breaking down sometimes. So he helped me understanding all that. So I would suggest you, both of you have to be emotionally strong. Just one person can't be strong, and one person can't be like that. You both have to be strong. You have to be strong. Otherwise, there is no way. And these all are the pros and cons, which I try to put all the experience which I felt. Still, if you think about anything which I can answer, please write in the comment. I will try to answer all your questions. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Bye for now. Bye.